Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stassi. Thank you so much for being here today. I have the lovely Sarah. You may know her on Instagram as we just
You
uh
got this.
Crumplebottom.
Crumplebottom.
Crumplebottom
Yeah.
Academy. So thank you so much, Sarah, for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be on this podcast. But I listen to a lot, but I will be skipping this episode.
Hey, I 100% I get you. The first Sims podcast I was ever on was Speaking Simlish. And I just was like, hey, like I'd love to be on your podcast. And they're like, okay. And I went on there and I laughed so hard and I was laughing and it was great. It was fun time. And then I was listening to their stuff and then my episode came on and I just sounded like farts. And I was like,
Oh
oh
God.
my God, this is so awkward. Skip.
Yeah.
But anyway, Sarah, I appreciate you coming. I also appreciate a fan. Like we were talking about
Yeah.
at the beginning of before we hopped on that it's so cool to like share your work with everybody and then and then people like it. And sometimes you're just like, but anyways, Sarah, let's start off this interview. But why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your Sims history?
Yeah, sure. All right. So not only have I been playing The Sims since it came out in 2000, but I've been in the Sims community since the 2000s. Like I was posting, yeah, I'm an old. I was posting stories on the Sims 1 website, Sims 2 website, kind of skipped around the Sims 3. And then obviously the Sims 4, I'm pretty active. I've been modding since the Sims 2. I've been around. I have a lot of war stories.
Oh my God. Okay, we're gonna start with The Sims 1 because I didn't start playing The Sims 1 until 2003. So I was 10. I'll be 30 this year. Um, how did you share your stories? The internet was just like a new baby back then. So
Yeah,
like what did you do? Like how did you do it?
they did. They had an community exchange for The Sims 1. Me and my friends would actually write stories together, and we wrote this one series about these quadruplets. And I remember making some custom content in The Sims 1 with like pictures of like I just like Googled quadruplets and put them in a picture. And I remember someone commenting like, "Is this based off of real people?" And I was like pretty young. I was like 11, and I was like, "No, I just made it up."
Holy shit. Okay, so was this like a form like before forms were a thing? Like I'm just trying to like grasp this because like the internet again was like AOL dial-up.
Yeah. No, it was like an EA or Maxis thing.
Huh.
Like it was like a Sims 1 actual like website. Yeah, it was pretty cool. They had a lot of stories. I don't know if it's accessible through like Wayback or Archive. Um, but yeah,
I
humble beginnings.
my fiance is, doing man things today and he'll be home
Sure.
later. I will be 100% Googling this after this because this is the first time anyone has ever told me anything about this. Like I had no idea. So the same thing existed for Sims 2.
Yes.
Same website, obviously like the sims2.com EA storytelling portal kind of idea.
Yeah, they had like featured stories, tons of series. I actually I don't know if you saw this, but I created kind of a similar thing to the Sims 2 storytelling website. It's sims4storytelling.com. Um yeah, I thought it would be kind of fun. I don't know if anyone uses it, but it was fun making it. But it's kind of like you upload pictures and you can like create stories and worlds and
Huh.
have your characters have pages. But yeah, it was the Sims 2 story exchange was very magical, and I wanted to recreate that.
Holy shit. No, I'm definitely gonna be checking this out because I find it's very hard to share your
Yeah.
Sims story and to get people to read it. Now, we'll get into that in a little bit when we talk about your story. But how was it back then? Would you find that there was more readers back then, or was it kind of people just didn't know that these websites existed?
Oh no, there were like fan pages and like it was like Simstagram before Simstagram, really.
Holy shit. Okay, well,
Yeah.
okay, what was your favorite story on there? Obviously, besides
Yeah, I was gonna
yours.
say. I don't know. I just remember kind of ironically following this, but ironically, but not ironically, following this like very dramatic story where like it was basically like they were just writing what their Sims were doing, but it was very chaotic, and they would like get a divorce, marry the maid, normal Tuesday on The Sims, have an affair,
Yeah,
die,
a
like
die,
yeah.
100% that. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, what'd you do yesterday? I met a girl, we hugged, we got married, and now she's expecting a baby all on the same
Yeah.
day. And then tomorrow we're gonna get a divorce, and then I'm gonna marry Bonehilda. It's perfect.
Oh,
But that's yeah,
that gives me an
that's
idea for a story.
no, like that's crazy. No, okay,
Yeah.
so talk to me about your story writing process. How do you write your story? Does it come to you in the shower, or is this like is it always kind of like story building where like all the time like you're continuously thinking
Yeah.
about it?
Honestly, it comes from the gameplay. Like I don't so my Sims, they go to school. They
Mhm.
do like typical things like science fair, school dances. So obviously I plan those. They're not like spontaneously like, let's have a science fair. I have gained intelligence. But like I kind of imagine what they are saying to each other. So when they're like get to know, I'll be like, oh, she's really into astrology. She's probably telling him that she's a Cancer, and he's
Okay.
probably like talking about a book that he read. So like it does come from gameplay, but I guess also I have a very active imagination. So kind of both.
I love that. Now, speaking of imagination, as someone who I would say I never turned off my imagination. I'm a very
Yeah.
um I'm always thinking of new things. Do you find as we get older that like most people actually do turn off their imagination and forget to have fun?
Yes, and I mean, I think that's what's so great about The Sims is like,
Mhm.
and that's what not to totally verge topics, but like that's like what Will Wright had in mind when he created the game. He wanted to
Mhm.
like blur the line between developer and player by creating a game where you create the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think that The Sims is great for an adult who misses their overactive imagination.
I love that because like I work in marketing now. So like I
Yeah,
was calling it it's all creativity. It's just a different way to be creative. And I never lost the whimsical side of me. I never lost
yeah.
being curious. And that's something that I've always kind of strived myself on. And like people I work with, they lost their curiosity 20, 30 years ago. And I never gave up because I'm always curious. I'm always learning. I'm always asking questions. And I think that's what a storyteller is. We're always asking
Yeah.
questions because I don't know about you, but I have this fear of plot holes, like fucking
Yeah.
hardcore. I will sit through a situation and be who, what, where, when, why, and how. How can I destroy this theory? And I make sure everything's kind of concrete because there's nothing worse that shows like Riverdale is a great example.
Oh my God.
Like there
Don't get
it
me started.
right because it has more fucking plot holes than Swiss cheese. Okay, like there's just so many. You're like, oh, aliens, cool. Rocket ships, how is
Canon.
Archie the mayor, the gym owner, the business owner, the perfect husband, and was attacked by a freaking bear and not one scar? Okay, that's some plot hole shit right there. But like I try really hard. What do you do to try to prevent plot holes from happening?
I document a lot. So I'm a software engineer, and like I need to like document everything, and like because like there are plot holes in software engineering too, but those are called bugs. But so I have spreadsheets and spreadsheets. I actually started like a fandom, which is like a wiki
Mm-hmm.
page for Crumplebottom. And it's on my to-do list to update it, but Yeah, it's kind of like my game Bible.
I was
Yeah.
looking at that earlier today. I'm
Oh,
like, we're
really?
going to be talking about, because there's a lot of characters, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, I
What?
don't remember their names. But no,
The
I
thing is, yeah,
fucking love that though. So like, can anybody create a fandom page, or do you have to have some form of something to be able to do that?
anyone could create one. I was looking for one for the Rose Chronicles, but I mean, you don't have like 2,000 characters with crazy names like I do.
No, no, because I was looking at your maps and like, well, this person's not friends with this person, but this person is. I'm sitting here, I'm like, girl, 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 I love you. I need a top 10.
Yeah,
Well, I was thinking about that. I was like, fuck, should I have one? And then I'm like, yeah,
I
I
could
should
make you
probably,
one. You
I will pay you. I will happily
don't have
pay
to
you.
pay me. That sounds like fun.
Oh my God.
I could make one right now. I love the Rose Chronicles.
Oh, oh, oh,
Yeah.
I needed that because the
Aw.
algorithm's not showing my stuff right now, so I'm having a really hard time getting viewers. I know, sad. Yeah, dude, if you want to make me one, we'll talk about this offline.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
continue to
yeah.
fangirl after, but no, I like that. It's very important to like iron out your characters, because like right now when I started, and I don't know about you, but I figured out who was going to do what, and then who was going to live or die, and then sometimes I completely scrap it.
Yeah.
Has there been a character that you thought was maybe just not going to last as long, but then they turned into like your favorite character?
Yes.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to relationships,
Mm-hmm.
like, and it's because I do most of my storytelling, get most of my storytelling ideas through gameplay.
Yeah.
A lot of things arise that way. So like there's this one character who like I didn't really have any plans for him. And the reason why I have so many characters is because this is like my personal game that I've been playing for like 10 years. So like the world is populated. But so the my character, I didn't think that he was I didn't really have anything big planned for him, but he was talking to this one sim a lot, and I just thought it was really cute, and I just thought like, oh, he could have a crush on her. So he just started having a crush on her, and I just like went with it, and I like wrote it into some storylines, and yeah.
Who is it?
It's a alto. I don't know if you know. He has glasses.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
oh, he's cute.
yeah,
He's cute.
yeah,
No, I like that, and I think that's so. I think it's very different because, like, for you, you use gameplay. I use fucking zero gameplay.
yeah,
I would love it if they just stopped aging and dying. I think that would just like
yeah.
save me from like 16 different heart attacks. Now, you take your idea from gameplay. Have you ever had an idea then and it just go fucking kaplash because the gameplay didn't allow it to happen?
Let me think. Okay. I had a sim die. This was in a previous generation, and yeah, I heard you talking in another episode how you had to turn off death because Alexa kept on dying.
Yeah.
But I wrote it into the story that she died, and it was like pretty compelling. It's not in this iteration of Crumplebottom. I used to just write them for myself,
Mm-hmm.
um, and just like write like little synopses of like my gameplay sessions. But yeah, it was pretty compelling, and it like her death caused a lot of character growth, and a lot of stories came out of that. So
Which
weird to say, but I don't regret her dying.
that's okay. So, which leads me to
Yeah,
my really good question that I like
yeah,
to ask storytellers is, how do you define a good death?
that's a great question. I guess someone like not dying in vain, or like it not having an effect, because I mean that's a pretty I know it's The Sims and it's not a big deal when a sim dies because like sims can die from like peeing their pants, but yeah, I guess I just I don't there's some TV shows where a character dies and like the next episode they're like, oh well, let's focus on something else. But yeah, I want it to affect the whole world, you know.
Mm-hmm. So what do you find? So when it comes to death like that, so like what makes a good death, like actually dying? Like, is it do they do it? Does somebody else do it? Like, in your opinion, what makes a really good death scene when you're writing?
Oh, interesting. I don't know. I maybe I'm just not too well versed in death scenes because my
That's fair.
my stories are all like, oh, they
Happy.
went to school.
They went to
Yeah.
school and everything is good. No, I got you. It's just because like I'm
Yeah.
coming into now where people are gonna start dying in Rose Chronicles. So, well, I
Not
mean,
Ollie, I
this will
hope.
be airing in April. No one's dying
Yeah.
between January. No, no one's dying between January and April. But there will be four. I've teased. Well, there I will be teasing by the point of this, four deaths. So five
Boy.
people will be dying in book one. And it's interesting because I really, 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 really trying to make death, like you said, like trying to
Yeah.
prevent it. Like you have to mourn, and then you have to realize like how do you live the rest of your life every day? What do you do? How do you remember them? How is their legacy? Remember, to me, the whole point of like these deaths is how are their legacies remembered, and like
Yeah.
and how do you want people to tell your story? It's like like Alexander Hamilton. You know this, like I don't know if you've seen that play, but I
Yeah.
live by the music, and it's like how do you want to tell your story? How do you want people to remember you? And I try to think of that when I do a death scene. Now, I have to ask you about happy scenes because I don't have too many of them in Rose Chronicles. I really, truly don't. How do you write a very happy, lovely scene? Like, what aspects do you go for?
I do have to say before I answer that I do have a death plan for season 3, and it's going to be a big deal. That's all I'll say. But yeah, for happy scenes, I really just pull from real life. Like I
Okay.
just think of, yeah, just like I just I just think of like funny scenarios, a lot of things because I am writing about school. I think of like those formative childhood memories, like core memories that made me laugh. Like recently, in the upcoming episode I'm working on, there is a senior prank where they turn a classroom into a club. And I that happened in my school as a
Okay.
senior prank. And I'll never forget. I remember every single song. They got a DJ. It was really cool. And I'll never forget that. And I was like, oh, I should incorporate something like that.
No,
Yeah.
that's fucking awesome. Ours was like the classic four pigs, but one says one,
Pigs.
two, three. Yeah, it's okay. So this is clearly an Ontario thing. So
Okay, yeah.
it's the classic, like four pigs running around the school, and they're all labeled. So one, two, three, and five. And you're trying to
Uh,
find the fifth pig, but there's not a fifth pig. Or the sticky notes on the principal's car. That
yeah.
was a big one. Shaving cream pie in the face, that was another big one, especially in culinary. In
Oh yeah.
culinary classes, it was switching out your whipped cream with shaving cream and your salt with sugar. Oh my god. Oh,
Class.
that's how you knew. Because I in grade 12 I spent a lot of time in the culinary programs, so
Yeah.
definitely. Oh, the vinegar in the water, that's another big one. It'd be like,
Oh.
oh, like let me. He should be like, oh, I go get some. I gotta go get my glass of water, and like when she's not paying attention, pour vinegar and her water. She's like, who did that? Yeah, so that is inventive as hell. I don't think
Yeah.
anyone at my school was that inventive to have a fucking DJ. But see, but that's cool where you're bringing in real life scenarios. Has there been what other experiences in your real life have been brought into your story?
Oh, just a lot of things. Just like situations where I think like I could have, or like I learned a lesson,
Mm-hmm.
or like I could have handled differently. I like to add in and kind of like work through them with the Sims. Yeah, just stuff like that.
I have to
Just
ask you.
working out my trauma
I have
with
to ask
Sims.
you to clarify because that was so vague. I need you to take it down a little more less vague.
Yeah. if I had like said the wrong thing to someone, or like I thought I was sticking up for someone in the right
Mhm.
way, but it turns out they needed my support in a different way, or I guess just all everything. Sorry, that's not any less vague.
I was gonna say, girl, you went the other direction. I,
Yeah.
but no, I do 100% get you because like when it comes to high school, I mean, I've done the same thing. You got your jocks, you have your bullies, you have your cliques. Something I tried to avoid a lot in Rose Council, but it is coming up is bullying. I was
Mhm.
huge on I'm very against bullying. As someone who has been bullied and someone has been the bullier, I kind of feel like I don't want I don't tolerate bullying in any shape or form. So I don't like to talk about it, but it is high school that we cannot talk
Yeah.
about high school without bullying. How do you handle bullying into your story concepts?
I do get uncomfortable when I have to write like fight scenes where like people are being mean to each other. I don't like that. But uh yeah, like I had these two girls get into a fight,
Mhm.
and they were saying really mean things to each other. And I just had to remember that like they did end up apologizing to each other. I just had to remember that like they know it was a mistake. And yeah, it's definitely difficult to do that. Or writing like breakup scenes is always really hard. Oh man.
That was I've never really had to write a breakup scene. I guess
Yeah.
like the Rose Chronicles like Nick breaking up with Alexa, but that was just kind of more like really one-sided. What do
Yeah.
you do when it comes to a breakup scene? Is it usually very mutual or is it usually like out of the blue?
I think I'm just going to use one of my favorite breakup scenes for an
Yeah.
example because it is based on a true story. So it's where Lavender breaks up with Theo at a an ice cream shop, and a bunch of like little kids are listening in, and he starts crying and they start laughing at him. Um,
Yes.
so yeah, I did try to see the humor in that. I'll repeat that is based off of a true story.
Whose true story?
I was not I was not on crying, but there were kids laughing and it
Yeah.
was very awkward. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, did not expect that to be part of but again, but that's what you do in high school and something I always get criticized
Yeah.
for. So I'm very curious to see if you get criticized for it as well. So like Alexa's 14 years old. I'm sorry, at 14 years
Yeah.
old, we're not like thinking like adults. How do you write as someone who is a teenager versus someone who is adult?
Yeah, I always try to put myself, it's like a little bit easier to write like these kids because
Mhm.
you don't have to use critical thinking skills. I'm kind of nervous for when they grow up, and like some of them are like cool, like smart kids, and I'll have to like write like how they speak, which I don't know if you could tell, but I don't, I don't know if I can do that, but we'll
Well,
see.
it's not that it's going to be hard, but it's like how do you carry a character?
Yeah.
So like a good example is so like currently right now I have written all of book one. I'm about 100, I'm in chapter 120 producing.
Oh wow.
I am currently rewriting book two in the format of how I'm currently doing it. And I'm having fun with book three. Three is just like I have an idea before I go to bed and I'm gonna pick my nose and write about it. But it's the same characters evolution over multiple
Yeah.
years. How do you take someone who's like a small child who's not formally thinking into them being a lot more mature? Obviously you've gone on for more seasons. How have you handled that transition from season to season?
I mean, I think that it's actually really helpful to change the way they look and their rooms whenever I like am really building a character and trying to get their um like just build their character. I always like to decorate their room and think, oh, well, what would they where would they put their bed? Like what are they doing in their room? What would their wall look like? Um So yeah, I think that's really helpful. And as my Sims grow up, I change the way they look, the way they dress. I change the way
Mhm.
they decorate their rooms. So
I
yeah,
I really like that. I do the same with Rose Chronicles. Every time it's a different
yeah,
day, they look different because that's what real life is.
yeah.
We look different every day. Obviously versus school uniform, which how do you customize your school uniform to make sure everybody looks the same but different?
So I just made so the school uniforms I made or recolored
Okay.
some custom content. I don't really remember, and I added the like Crumplebottom uh
Yeah.
like logo. But they for each grade it's a different color and it's
Okay.
rainbow order, so it's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple.
Okay.
And yeah, I have a few different variations of like they have a vest or a t-shirt or not a t-shirt, a polo or a sweater. Um, so yeah, I know there's some like some students who like I know that like this girl, I know Sean would probably wouldn't want to wear a skirt. So I
Okay.
always have her wear the pants. Yeah.
I got you. I don't go that far. I just like all girls in skirts, all guys in the same
Yeah.
pants. Just because like I don't none of it's CC. No, none of it's CC. The some of the skirts
Yeah.
are because it's not the same skirt, but like it's the same jacket. But I would actually love it if I could figure because I'm not smart enough to make my own CC because that's life. But I would love to just have the gray shirt and the yellow tie. I would shit my pants
Yeah.
for that just because to have a little bit more of those variations. I don't know about you, but I would love it if EA, when they did jackets, you could actually have an off and on function. So you could like you would be
Oh.
able to like have it be the same. You're just physically removing the jacket. Like what's your thoughts about that?
Oh, yeah. That would be right after they do the door half open, half closed.
Oh my
Like,
god. Okay, have you
yeah.
I don't okay, like I don't know in my podcast if I'm screaming about the half door, half open yet,
Yeah.
but I will fucking
Yeah.
I want that. I want that so bad. You have as you can clearly tell, I
Yeah.
have a fucking half open half door open, half door open. Like, but this is my closet door. That door is always open. Okay, like
Yeah.
who closes that? Like, no, like I want those things. I also want a height thing. So that's another thing I want to ask you. How do
Oh,
you differentiate height differences? Because Oliver is supposed to be like 6'8", and Lex is supposed to be like 5'4", 5'5". They're significantly taller, but they're the exact same height in the story because there's nothing I can do. So is that something on your wish list as well?
I use a height slider
Yeah.
actually where you can change the size of the feet and like, oh my God, it just like actually brought so much more like character to some of these people. Like I was surprised how much these Sims, sorry, not people. I was surprised by how much like their height would affect their character,
Mm-hmm.
just like in my eyes. But yeah, it would be, I don't know. Okay, I know why that's not built in because sometimes when Sims have different heights and they're like kissing, like one of them will be like kissing the other's like neck and like
Oh,
it doesn't really work.
I I know, but like EA, like do something. You're giving us
Yeah.
you're giving us infants and apparently preteens. Yay.
What?
Yeah, so apparently, so I put out yeah last night on my main Instagram page, like, what are your thoughts about infants? Because I can't stand
Yeah.
infants because I would fucking turn that option off about 10 seconds because no one wants infants that crawl because they're gonna be everywhere and it's not gonna be fun. So
Yeah.
people were messaging me, they're like, yeah, infants and preteens, right? And I'm like, what? So apparently they're gonna have a potentially a preteen sim. Now that's another generation between I maybe you would like it more, but like they go to the same like are they just then like
Yeah.
a little shorter, like just like a little bit like what's a preteen like between 10 and 12? Is that a preteen?
Yeah. Well, so with my Sims, they're in seventh and eighth grade right now. Like
Okay.
they're teens. And yeah, I make them I modify their faces to like give them like baby fat and like, like make
Yeah.
them look like actual kids. So and I make the what's my rule? I think sixth grade is when I make my Sims teens but I just make them tiny.
Yeah.
So I kind of have my own preteen stage, but it's teen stage.
I got you. And hey, I appreciate that you actually play with teens. Now, this is something I have to
Yeah.
ask you. Obviously, story, you use the gameplay. Do you actually have to do all the homework and the learning stuff? Do you always put that into your gameplay, or do you just skip parts of it until they're like, yeah, they don't need to do this anymore? Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, do have them do that, but I have like my own set of rules where like they don't go to school. I do like go to school days where it's a holiday and they have off and they
Yeah,
just go,
I saw you put that
oh
on your
yeah,
yeah, your Instagram where it's like get to know the story or about me or something about this. And I saw that. I was like, that's really smart. That is
thanks.
really, really smart to do it that way. You must have been tickled pink with the high school pack that came out last year.
I don't like
Ah,
it.
okay. I did not like it either. I've spoken very
Yeah,
openly about how the
yeah.
fuck are there no football jerseys?
I
Sorry,
know.
I'm screaming.
Right?
There, we talked about I can't be screaming on these things,
Yeah.
but like there was like the fact that you couldn't just go to the football stadium. It was like
Yeah.
I was so
As
pissed about
part of the
the,
school
the
lot.
cheerleaders being on the fucking ground of dirt to them to do any
Yeah.
function. The only thing I genuinely liked about that pack was the items. I use the
Yeah.
items
Me
quite
too.
frequently because
Yeah.
originally my plan was is I was going to be like, oh, this school is made over. Oh. But I was like, oh no, I like my school. It's very
Oh, it's
simple,
way better.
but yeah, it's way better. And I've slowly started you will now start seeing it in these chapters that are coming out because these chapters I made back in July when I got this pack. You'll start
Yeah.
seeing the new cheerleader outfits and some decor, but that's all I made my fiance spend $70 on that pack so I can get red lockers. That's all I got
Yeah.
out of that. So, and obviously I do like the cheerleader uniforms. I will say that it's better than the CC ones I have, but there are still really good CC ones. But I really did
Yeah.
enjoy this, but I do not enjoy the cheerleaders having to dance on the stupid ground
On the
dirt
little
thing.
square.
And they're
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Cheer. No, it's garbage. Like absolute garbage.
Yeah,
I
it
was
is.
disappointed. But I was very excited. I think let me rephrase that. Were you excited when they announced the pack versus what we actually got?
I've learned how to manage my expectations with EA. I I don't let them make me feel any way anymore, you know? Like I just try to go into everything neutral.
Oh my god. See, I say that because I'm cynical, but then I see the trail because the EA marketing team for Sims is phenomenal what they do because they
Yeah.
show us a trailer. We're excited for all these things, and then we get it, and it's like these half-broken promises that we get. They're like, yeah, football. They gave us a fucking football, but no
Yeah,
jerseys.
one football.
One
Yeah,
football
and like yeah.
that I didn't actually
Are
even use. I downloaded CC for the pose,
yeah.
and then I just photoshopped a football in the hand because the football doesn't look right in the hand because they didn't do it right. It's like the basketball grip of it. It's like this,
Yeah.
but you hold a football like
Yeah.
this. Yeah, not this. This. It was just sorry. I have to work on not letting EA affect me as negatively as it does.
Yeah.
Because the problem, okay, so like we can all agree that the Sims community is made by Simmers, not
Yeah.
EA. We as the community make the game as special as what it is. They just provide us with half broken things and
Yeah.
we fix
I
them with
trust the
mods.
community. I don't trust EA anymore, but I'll never lose trust in the simming community. They're always coming up with some crazy beautiful thing.
Aren't they though? I know.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Anyways, back to interview. Who is your favorite character and why?
Oh, wow.
I know.
uh I think Apollo might be my favorite character just because I relate to him so much. the way that he loves void critters is the way that I love Sims, just unabashedly growing up. And he's gonna deal with next season with like people saying he's too old to like void critters, just like people are like, you still play The Sims to me.
Mhm.
And he, yeah, he's just like, he always means well. He's like me where he always means well, but sometimes he doesn't say the right thing. He's a little socially awkward. But and
I
dorky, but
I love that. Oh, so do you, when you write for his character, do you obviously you put yourself into the character for some aspects of it, of like how you would have handled the situation? I
yeah.
got you now. I love this question. Who I get asked all the time, who's your least favorite character and why?
Oh boy, my least favorite. I love all my children. Um,
But there's always one that you're just
oh,
like, he's just like, ugh, irks you.
there, there's actually this character. He's not. He's gonna play a more prevalent role next season, but he's the mayor of Sim City, Mayor
Okay.
Campbell. He's like really corrupt and like evil and like yeah, I mean he'll be fun to write. And he's popped up a few times. But yeah, I wouldn't want to like hang out with him.
I like that. I kind of do the same thing with adults in Rose Chronicles, that I kind of
Yeah.
take the TV approach that they're not like really there or present, which I find
Yeah.
fucking hilarious. Cause like who's like, cause like every like main character in any TV show, teen drama, like the parents are like the mayor, a doctor,
Yeah.
a lawyer, military. Those are your four big ones, right? So I try to
Yes.
nail as many as I can, just because they're like, well, they're like, you're never home. Or, the surrogate, like, dad's over in a war, mom's fucking MIA. So, like, the child moves in with another child, being like, ah,
That always happens. Or
that
like
always does.
teenagers have their own apartments.
Or they can like go to breakfast beforehand, they can get 6 cups of
Yeah,
coffee a day, they don't have any like I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I do that because I was a huge Pretty Little Liars fan, like
me too.
okay, were you disappointed by the ending? Because if the answer is
Oh
not
yeah.
yes, okay, good, we can continue being friends, because the ending was horrible, but I remember being so excited for like every episode. I'm like,
Yeah.
who's A? Like, are we getting? And then there was like multiple A's, and then there's twins. There's always twins too.
Always.
There's
Talk
always
about
twins,
plot holes.
right? Oh, I forgot you're a twin. How
Yeah.
do you
Oh, you
fucking
dated? Oh, you're actually related now.
You're
But it's
actually
fine. Like,
yeah.
what?
Or yeah. Oh fuck yeah. Okay, what other teen shows did you like growing up?
You can't see it because it's not in frame, but I'm a huge Degrassi fan. I have so much. I know you're from Canada, so you probably know some other Degrassi fans, but like I watch it every night before I go to bed. It's my favorite show.
Oh my god. So like that is the shit, like they would like, so on a rainy day at school, like they would put on Degrassi for us to watch. Like every kid,
Lucky.
lucky is maybe not the word to describe. I would describe it as torture, but we'll go with either or. I don't know. Like I just it's so cheesy. It's
Yeah, I
so
know.
cheesy. Another one, I don't know if you watched it, but it was called Life with Derek. It's
Oh
so
yeah. It's
okay.
also Canadian.
Also Canadian. So it's actually filmed in my hometown. So like
Whoa.
my culinary teacher in grade 10, that was Casey's mom.
Whoa. Oh, she was a character on Degrassi too, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They use the
Oh
same,
yeah.
yeah, they use the same set. Like it was the same school set because there was only one you could do, and it was in my hometown, but it actually literally took place in London, Ontario, which is where I'm from. And I always laughed
Oh,
at that. I'm
cool.
like, there's nothing cool about the city. Like there's nothing cool besides the
Oh
London
man.
Knights. But yeah, so I always found that funny. But yeah, definitely Life with Derek. That was when we watched, so obviously in that class because it was her daughter, and I'm sure she just wanted to spend some
Yeah.
time with her daughter. Um, what other teen shows? I obviously watched Gossip Girl. I mean, who didn't watch Gossip
Yes.
Girl?
Yes.
Oh, Vampire Diaries, obs.
I actually didn't watch that. I
Okay.
know.
We
It's
need to end
it
this
was like
interview
made
right
for
now so
me.
you can go start watching this. We'll put a pin in it and then we'll come back after the first episode and we'll regroup. I would say the Vampire Diaries is very heavily themed in Rose Chronicles. With fucking
Oh
at it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I got when I read Rose Chronicles, I definitely got like when I was reading it, I was thinking like if Ravenswood, the Pretty Little Liars spinoff just took like this plot, like that would have been so much better.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So we are now best friends. Oh my god. Okay. But oh yeah, definitely. Definitely that. And also Sailor Moon plays a huge role in it.
Oh
It's
yeah.
lots of character names that I take and storylines and stuff. But yeah, no. So what stories do you take inspiration from for your story, like TV shows?
Definitely Degrassi. There are some stories that are like definitely inspired by Degrassi, especially the um school election episode. Like
Mhm.
school elections in real life, like no one really cares. But like on Degrassi, they were always that was like the
They
first
cared.
episode of yeah, like they're all drama. So
Yeah.
I thought I would kind of emulate that in my stories just for fun.
Okay. Did you ever run for anything when you were in school?
Oh,
You say no.
I yeah. Heck no. I
That was
hate
a pretty
public
fast no,
speaking.
by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, did your school
No,
then have like a high school senior lounge?
no,
Well,
I
ours
don't think
did, and
so.
I was not part of student council. So student council had their own lounge, which was like this hidden room that had this like gross couch that everybody knew people were having sex on. Like we knew that.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
oh, well, yeah. I went to a Catholic school. Everybody was having sex with each other.
Sure.
There was literally gross story. It's called the fourth floor. The fourth, so my high school that I went to used to be where you went to train to be a nun. Because it was a former abbey, and then after the abbey, it was converted to being a priest school, so guys, and then it was an all male school until 1997 or something like that, and then it became a co-ed, but the fourth floor they had to tear it down because it was so old, but they left the stairs there and this giant like little platform, and people would have sex on there on their lunch break. It's very well
Oh
known
my
because
goodness.
oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, and it was
Maybe
gross.
I'm sheltered.
That I can't say. I never did it because I had more class than that, but you would
Yeah.
know, like it would be like a like you if you attempted to, because that door always opened, but like if you would hear like people in there and they'd lock it because it was locked on the other side, and you would always have our security guard on the other side being waiting till it's done, which is so awkward for everyone
Oh my
involved in
God.
that story. Yeah, gross.
That's like a with Crumplebottom Academy, I'm like so like traumatized by hearing that story. But like that's why I'm gonna have trouble when they're older. Like they're gonna have to like do bad stuff, and I'm gonna have to just like put myself in a different mindset to come up with these storylines.
Oh my god.
Maybe I'll come to you.
Yes.
Ask you for
Well, I wrote this sex scene between two characters, and it's not Alexa and Oliver because it's gross. I can't even imagine that yet.
yeah.
No, so there's a big woohoo moment coming, and
Yeah.
it was so awkward to write it
Yeah.
because I literally in because like so how I write it is so it's always in my email, and it would be like because like okay, so currently I'm working on book 2 chapter 150 part 1 2 and 3, and it would say photo 2 and then line cross out, and then break that section off, and then line and I will continue on if it's one chapter, so it's 10. If it's there's a 3 part, there's 3. If there's 10 part, there's 10. There's 100 parts to it, right? So at any sex scene, I'm like, tasteful sex scene, find CC later. Tasteful sex scene, find CC later. Because as we're both on Simstagram, I respect all Simstagram storytellers. But that also being said, can we please have 18A on some of your
Oh
posts?
my God.
Because like sometimes I'll just be like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, can 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 you even do that?
I
So
was looking for like cute hug poses one day and I just I was traumatized by what I found when I was Googling.
Oh my, I know. Okay, speaking of poses, so poses are absolutely necessary for
Yeah.
storytellers and Sims, without a doubt. What type of poses are your favorite?
I like I used to mostly just use static poses, but I really like animated poses so I can get like kind of a variety and like but I have a million poses. I'm actually in the process of organizing them right now in a document by like whether they're like the mood and like whether they're animated, static, and like number of sims just to save time for myself.
Girl, you are organized. I just throw
I'm a
everything
Virgo.
in, hope for the best.
Yeah.
So I used to be same. I was static. Now I love this. So I, if you want, I'll send this link to you after. So it's really good for conversation pieces. So I think it's like resin sims or something, or it's like SS. I can't remember, but it'll be like conversation happy, standing, looking straight, and I'll be like,
That's all I want. Yeah.
and the next one's like, and then they're like holding hands or something, and they're like, and it goes like this. But it's so great. So if I'm taking a scene where they're just talking, I'll just press play, and then they're in a different pose. Take the screenshot,
Yeah.
press play again, and then they're in another pose. I find that's a lot easier if it's just like words talking, words talking, words talking when it comes to stuff like that. That's a trick that I picked up. I wish I would have known that sooner. I only started doing that like 6 months ago. So my next question to you is, what do you wish that you would have known now you wish you would have known years ago when you started this?
Specifically, I wish I knew headline effects off. You know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, these random plumb bobs everywhere. Like, I don't know how I didn't know that. It took like a year to storytelling. And I mean, I would just go into tab mode. So most of the headline effects would disappear, but
Mm-hmm.
I just automatically go in and turn it off right now. Like the second I open the game.
I just kind of wish there was just a button for it, like in
Yeah.
settings, and you could just always have it off. I could not agree more because sometimes I'll forget that I have it on, or
Yeah.
because it's I show you what I want you to see, not the fucking everything around. Because now when I set it up as an actual set, and I'll start with
Cool.
you know, iron, like, you know, that's the teleporty guy, the
Tool?
no,
Oh,
no,
that man.
the man. Yeah, the teleport man. I will literally be like, they're gonna talk here, then they're gonna talk here, and I
Yeah.
literally fall through like that because it makes life so much easier now. Um, yeah, teleport man, the iron suit guy. The I
Yeah, his name is on the tip of my tongue. It's like,
you know,
oh
yeah,
God, what is it?
yeah.
Someone's yelling at their podcast right now. They're like,
It's this, you idiots. You're storytellers and you don't know the name? Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, it's gonna escape me until I log back and I'm like, oh, that guy. But yeah, teleporty guy.
yeah.
I love my teleporty guy. The best and most awkward is if you're teleporting a child and an adult and you can't find the child until you pose the adult. Or you'll see like the tips of their feet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't come across that. I've had a lot of weird stuff happen in my game.
Okay, I want to hear two of the weirdest things that have happened in your game.
One I was just thinking about was I was making this mod for I really miss newspaper delivery. And
Yeah.
I wanted to leverage, so you know, in eco lifestyles, I think they have like that board.
Yeah.
Um, so I wanted to kind of leverage that functionality and make like a newspaper delivery with the newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
I made one, and then it would have information on that board, so just the goings on around town. So I've created like a newspaper delivery role, like an NPC,
Yeah.
and I would have someone come and like put the newspaper in the mailbox. Uh-oh, are
Uh,
you frozen?
no,
Am
I'm
I
here.
frozen?
No, you're
Oh,
not
great.
frozen. You're okay. Oh, now you're
Oh
frozen.
no.
Are you still there?
Hello.
Okay, yeah, you are still there. Okay. Technical difficulties,
Sorry.
guys. Hey, it happens all the time. Anyway, so newspaper, you created your
This
own.
podcast is sponsored by EA.
Oh
Not.
my God. It's definitely not. Business Daddy would have fired me a long time ago.
Yeah.
But anyways, so eco lifestyle, you create your own newspaper, very important to the story.
Yeah.
I've caught you back up.
Thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
I created this role, but it kept on, dogs kept on coming and dropping off the newspaper. And it was so weird. Like I would just get like a notification like Snuffles has come over and dropped off your newspaper. And it was like so creepy. And then they would do like the you know what I mean,
Oh yeah.
where the dogs would like take the human form.
Oh yeah.
Then I realized there was like something missing in my XML where I had to like make it just a human role. But so that was a fun experience.
Mm. Mm-mm. Mm-hmm. No, I gotta love those glitches, eh? Because
Yeah.
like
That
I
one was my fault though.
that's fair. The creepiest one I have right now is once you teleport your sim there. So their heads are always like this now. And for anyone who's
Oh
listening, I have
yeah,
my
that
head to the side and they're just like,
yes, I get that too.
and
It
the
was
first
so
time I did it,
creepy.
I was like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, how to give Sims Exorcist in the Sims CC. Like, I was literally like, I was like, this is so and now they do it all the time. And when I like, I'll watch that, I'm like, I'll just like literally turn. I'm like, no, no.
Yeah. No, it's so off-putting. Does that really happen when you teleport or
Yeah,
oh okay.
it's gross. It's
Yeah, I
gross.
wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-mm,
How
mm-mm.
to exercise your I'm sure there's a mod.
There has to be something because I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's so creepy. It's just a glitch, but it's so creepy. But anyways, back to your story. Now, I was doing some research and you have an app. Now, how do you
Oh
do that?
yeah. So I'm a software engineer by day, simmer also by day and tonight and most hours.
I love it.
But yeah, I did make an app to kind of share my stories. So I have an Android app and an iOS app.
Yeah.
They're not I'm thinking of hiring a UX designer to help me out a little bit, but I tried my best. Hopefully, there will be a new and better iteration coming soon. But yeah, I just made those mostly because my friend, I tell him every time I post a story, and he was like, "You just make an app so I can have it on my phone." I was like, "Yeah, sure, that sounds fun." So
Oh,
yeah,
okay. So, like, how did you do that? For anybody who's like me that's like technology scared, how did you create an app with this story? And how, okay, I'm going to ask this so nicely and please don't be offended. How did you not get sued because it's The Sims? It's the
oh,
Sims
that is
that's copyrighted protected. So, how did you do that without getting sued?
so the thing is I haven't gotten sued yet. So
Oh, okay,
I'm
perfect.
still yeah, I'm still I every time I check my mail, I'm like, this is it. This is the cease and desist from EA. But the thing is I don't like write it's like I think it's fair use to use the screenshots. I don't say like this is affiliated with EA
Yeah.
or like these are shots from The Sims. So I might be okay if they take down my apps. Like that's fine. But I'm not making any money off of this. I'm actually spending money to for my developer license. So
And that is something that storytellers propose things don't talk about is the money per month or money they put into it.
yeah,
And people like think all the time, like, oh, like Rose Chronicles is free, right? I'm like, no, it costs me about $44 a month to have that because I have to have a Photoshop.
yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
right. So it's the money that goes into it because I saw that and I'm like, girl, how are you not getting sued by EA?
I
Unless
know.
that's awesome though. And then last but not well, I was also on there and you have a BuzzFeed quiz. How did that
Oh
come
yeah.
to be?
I just thought it would be funny to make a BuzzFeed quiz for it's who what character you relate to most by like just random things you pick. I don't know, BuzzFeed quizzes are just a fun thing to do, and there's literally nothing else to do. So I thought it'd be fun. Like, you picked yellow, you're totally like this character.
Okay, so
Did you do
you
it?
no, I did it. Yeah, of course I did it. Because
Oh, cool.
I was like, how did you do that? How did you because like did you make that?
Yeah.
Okay, you can make your own quizzes in BuzzFeed.
Yeah.
Oh fuck,
Yeah.
I
You
had
should
no
do one for Rose
fuck yeah.
Chronicles.
Sorry, that's what I'm gonna be doing this.
Oh,
Okay, first I have a long list of things. One, editing this podcast. Two,
sorry.
no, don't. Editing is very asterisk with this. And then Googling what the Sims 1 storyteller and Sims 2 storyteller is, and then looking at your Sims 4
Yeah.
storyteller, and yeah, 100% creating a custom. I would for sure do that. I got it was a girl, she had blonde hair.
Oh, Holland?
Yes. I wanted to say it had a country name to it, but yes, I had her. I had yes. Yeah, I
She's
got her.
awesome.
Yeah, so I was like, holy shit, yeah, I've totally got for Rose Chronicles. I feel like
Yeah.
if I don't get Alexa 99.9% of the time, then I've clearly fucked up. But no, that's
Oh,
really
yeah.
that's pretty funny. Girl, I gotta get a wiki page. I gotta do a BuzzFeed. You are like
Yeah.
10 miles ahead of it. I love that.
And you have like a million. I have like 3 followers. I'm just doing it for myself. Like, you should do it because people will actually go to your BuzzFeed quiz. Like, I know I will.
I think generally people would. It's shocking. I mean, it's taken a long time. I do have like I as I'm sure you have the best readers in the world. I have the best readers in the
Yeah.
world. People that are dedicated. I just released the chapter 101 where Alexa and Oliver are like, I love you. I love you too. And it's fun. And people were like literally people like my DMs were filled that day. They're like, oh my God, finally. And I'm like, well, that was the whole point. That was I never wanted to rush. I never wanted to rush that scene. I wanted everyone to be like, yeah, let's go. And then I made fun of it. I absolutely made fun of myself when I did like the moment y'all wait for it. And they're like, I love you and I love you too. And they were like, yeah! Like because it was just like
Yeah.
that moment you were
Yeah.
waiting. Like I can take it on the nose. I specifically I did that, but no, I definitely oh my God. You're giving me so much tasks. My fiance is gonna be gone for a week
Sorry.
in like 2 weeks. Oh my God, no, don't say sorry. I've been bored as hell at work because my boss is currently in Florida and I'm just looking busy. So if I can do all this shit while I'm at work, oh as I throw my pen on the ground, I just know what I'm doing this week. Because I don't have to look busy when he's not there because I can just do whatever I want. Oh my God. Sarah, you've just changed my world. Now, anyways, I got a couple more questions for you, and then I'm gonna wrap up this interview. Now, we've talked a lot about your story. We've talked about your writing process. What advice would you give to anybody who wants to start their own story?
That's a great question. Uh, I think just make it about Sims that you really love. Um, like don't like make honestly, with me, I've used Sims that were children of Sims that I played for like years. So like they had a really rich backstory and I really like felt a connection to them.
Mm-hmm.
What other advice would I give? Uh, do some research into some tools just to make your life easier, like poses and yeah, just uh learn from our mistakes and like get all your cheat codes written down that you want to use and download everything.
I could not
Yeah.
agree more, especially poses and like look into
Yeah.
poses and and try to find exact moods that you're going for. Because moods I had a really hard time with at the beginning of like, I still use the same when they're angry. When it's NA, I can't remember the full name, but it's like Natasha Og something something. She does a lot of fantasy CC, and it's the holding sword dagger. So it's just basically like this and they're like squinting, yeah, and then I do that all the time for Anger because it's so perfect. But like I got like sitting poses. Sitting poses were a huge
Yes.
game changer for me, and I'm sure for you as well. It makes a really big difference when you're trying to tell a story and they're just kind of like and it's like serious. So I have like sitting neutral, sitting sad, sitting angry, and sitting happy. Very, very, very important to have those. And just again, just being willing to experiment with
Yes.
your poses, because I am a fiend for using multiple different. So like I have one where it's like a dying like pose, but I'll use a different Sims pose from a different pack, and because it'll just kind of do the same thing, or try to figure out like a stabbing pose. I'll do multiple different stabbing ones from multiple different packs and just kind of seeing like how that goes, and fighting poses as well. I really wish EA would have more, or more CC creators would have more fighting poses. I wish EA just had poses. I would buy an expansion pack just of fucking poses.
Me too.
Oh, we gotta. Okay, we're gonna go pitch EA because like I would totally go do that because it makes the story so much better. I don't know how console players do it. I have no idea. I need CC and I need mods. Now, what mods do you use to make your storytelling easier?
For like that gameplay storytelling kind of connection, I do the MCC cheats. I forget what it stands for, but I slow down time a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. So I like give my Sims like a full human day to get all their stuff sorted out. But yeah, that and tool take objects off a lot is brilliant. Andrew's pose. Andrew, that's the man's name.
Thank you. Yeah, Andrew's pose.
It only took us an hour. Yeah, that one is so great. I can't believe I ever played without those.
I was literally going back because I get new readers a good chunk of the time, and they always start back at the beginning because I know, because I'll you can see like what post they liked, and I'll message them being like, hi, like thank you so much for reading. Just so you know, the first 20 chapters are rough. I used to say 10. I've bumped that to 20. I'm like, yeah, the first 20 chapters, a little rough. Didn't know what I was doing. Figured it out though. Gotta stick with it. It gets better. But yeah, like I didn't use poses, I want to say, until chapter 2021.
Really? I didn't notice. I thought they looked great.
Oh, well, thank you.
You have mad Photoshop skills.
That's actually what my first diploma was in Photoshop. Right. And I was a graphic designer. Cool. So I did graphic design and then marketing and then culinary and became a chef. And now I'm a marketing person because it's a 9-to-5 job. I just want to, go home at 5. But anyways, Sarah, well, my final question for you, and I'm going to wrap up this interview. Anything that you want to share about your amazing story with all these amazing listeners?
Oh boy. Sorry. Anything.
Literally anything. Floor is yours.
If you want to read my stories, that's really cool and I appreciate it. If you want to download my apps, that's awesome. Just know I'm working on making them a better user experience. And yeah, stream Remember Sports' new EP because I'm making a music video for that. Just for fun.
I love that. Well, Sarah, I want to say it's been an absolute pleasure. Oh my God, you're part of my close friends now. Like, holy shit. Well, thank you. And thank you for wanting to be on here. And thank you for being an amazing creator and an amazing content creator. The Sims storyteller community would not be the same without you. Now, I know you kind of said it before, but where can we find all of your amazing work?
Follow me on Instagram. That's where I'm most active. So it's Crumplebottom Academy. Crumplebottom like Agnes Crumplebottom. And you can look at the storytelling website at, I think, sims4storytelling.com. And then Crumplebottom has a website, crumplebottomacademy.com. Oh
Mhm.
boy, this is a lot to download. My apps before EA sues me for all I'm worth. And you can just find them in whatever app store, Crumplebottom Academy.
I love that. Please go check out everything out. The links are going to be below. Sarah, it has been an absolute pleasure. You are welcome to come back at any time. I definitely want to
Ah,
hear more about how your story progresses. I'm very excited to see what this year has to hold for you.
thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it was so nice to meet you. Well, you have a great rest of your day, okay?
Thank you. You too. All
Bye.
right. Talk